Hello, everybody. Welcome to Arsenal X NGR's Radio Xbox Podcast. I'm your host, Eddie V, and as always, we throw up the X. Yes, because we're about to throw down. Joining me is the wise Wisconsinite, Mr. Jesse Douglas.
Hey.
Also, he has recovered. Bossman himself, Mr. Corey Dirrig.
Hey.
Hi. You sound like an ASMR. Hi.
Welcome to Arsenal X After Hours. We're going to put on some of that smooth jazz. And
all it is Halo explosions from the Warhawk. How's everybody doing tonight? Or today, I should say.
Good.
Yeah,
Doing good.
I'm good. I haven't stayed up this late in a while. So.
Well, oh, yes. Well, before we get into what's been in our arsenal, actually, Corey, we're going to, last week, me and Jesse talked about Forza Horizon 4 beta, even though the game is out now, and Blackout from Call of Duty 4, the Call of Duty game. Yeah. And
Ed's still in work mode.
Yes, yeah, right. And Battlefield 5, the Battlefield 5 beta. We want to know your pros and cons for each game. What you expect and what you're hoping. What you like.
Yeah. Well, we'll start with Battlefield 5 since that's the one we played first. It's fine. Like, it feels like a Battlefield game. It feels like Battlefront. Like, I went in knowing exactly what to do because of Battlefront, because, I mean, the Battlefront is essentially the same game with all the same game modes and stuff. It's just skinned with Star Wars instead of World War II soldiers. So, it didn't, like, make me any better at the game. I still sucked at it, but it's all right. It was okay. I don't really know the mechanics, like the little things that makes Battlefield, so like, I saw a lot of people kind of complaining about some of the mechanics. I thought the shooting was good. I thought moving around the world was easy enough. It was fun. It felt good as a shooter. And I know Battlefield people are Battlefield people, and then there's Call of Duty people who are Call of Duty people. And out of the two betas that Jesse and I played together, at least, Call of Duty was hands down the better experience for me. I know we only played Blackout, but like that mode itself is probably worth the $60. It feels like they played a bunch of PUBG and polished it up and was like, oh yeah, we can make that work. Like Jesse and I were just talking about it because we were recording PUBG for a Royale with Cheese episode, and we were talking about the left trigger. You have to press it twice to zoom it to aim down sights, and it's like, why can't you just press it once? Because like the first one is kind of like a fake one, and I'm like, why can't you just press it once? Or like, why do I have to press up on the D-pad to equip my pistol, but press Y to equip the other weapons? Like, why can't they just do it Gears of War style where, the pistol is up, grenade is down, and the two main weapons are on the left and right on the D-pad? Or why can't I just press Y to cycle through my weapons? The control scheme of that game is super complicated, and it's like Call of Duty, everything just works. You know what you have, you know what you're going to use. The item bar at the bottom makes it really simple to go through your inventory really quickly. The shooting feels really good. Like,
for PUBG, do you think it's because it started on PC and that transfer to console? They didn't really know how to.
There's a lot of PC shooters that transfer well to consoles. It's a third-person shooter. There's enough of those out there for you to like copy off of, pretty much. Like Gears of War is a perfect example for PUBG of how it should probably work, in terms of mechanics and weapon choosing and stuff. Now, I know there's a bunch of different things like inventory management and equipping your attachments and stuff in PUBG. Like, Obviously, that's not going to translate the same as Gears, but choosing a weapon and aiming down sights should just work, man. It shouldn't be 3 or 4 different places on your controller, or the aim down sights thing. I think is the most ridiculous thing, especially since pressing the left trigger once, like it. Jesse, you called it focusing, but like it doesn't really do anything for most of the weapons. I don't know if it does anything for any of the weapons.
Yeah, like I think what it does is it looks down sight, like in third person, but you don't actually look down sight in first person until you press it a second time. So like your character's looking down sight when you hold it, but it's still a third person view.
Yeah.
Like
weird.
which kind of makes no sense. Like, I mean, I don't know. I guess that like if you want to play it in third person the way that they meant it to be played, then it makes sense. But like, and I don't like going into just first person to play it. I don't know, like, because I like having the mix of the two.
But PUBG was always supposed to be first person, right? I think.
No, it's third. It's both. It's both. It's always been both. But you can choose. You can choose how you want to play it,
and then you can swap on the fly by pressing the right bumper.
Yeah.
Okay.
But still, if you only push the look down sight once when you're in first person, like that's what bothers me. Is if you're in first person, you should only have to push the left trigger once to look down sight, but you still have to press it twice.
That's super weird.
Yeah. It's just like that. It's just small things like that. Honestly, that makes the experience not as good as it could be, and it would be. I'd imagine it would be fairly easy to change something that small, but I don't know. Again, I don't know.
Yeah, it's super. It should be easier.
Yeah, there's just steps that you shouldn't have to take that you do have to take, and that's really the only issue that I have with it, as far as what it is.
Well, it's funny that they haven't hired anyone who used to work on like big or even small.
Well, the thing is, the coalition helped them with the console version of the game. Like they assigned like a 12-person team to help them get this game running on Xbox. So you would have thought that they would have like helped them with button mapping and stuff.
Well, the owner of the game and that company, they probably made those decisions, and the coalition just probably had to help them program it.
Yeah,
they was on their high horse when the game was popular. Now it just seems that star is fading away.
Yeah, I mean, I really think that Call of Duty's probably gonna. It's probably gonna bury this game, and they started that what was it, Fix PUBG campaign, which is like great and all, but you probably shouldn't have a 1.0 release of your game if you are now launching a campaign.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't know. It's weird, but the Call of Duty beta was really good. It actually like made me excited for a Call of Duty for once. I haven't really been excited for a Call of Duty since probably Black Ops 2, and I got it on the Wii U, which nobody played it there. So,
and they said that was the best version.
No, I don't think anybody said that.
Oh, a lot of people who reviewed it said it was the best version. It's like the definitive version to play Black Ops 2.
Why was it the definitive version? It definitely wasn't because of Wii U's stellar online play.
Well, the online was whatever it was, but they was just like playing that game with the gamepad made it fun, made it better than the PS3 and 360 versions. There was just something about the gamepad that, and you could probably look up reviews and stuff, but there was just like, the gamepad made the experience like really better. It was just sad that Activision didn't really put more effort into it and stuff.
Yeah, well.
But that was the time, of course, 360 was big. So Call of Duty was bigger on 360 than any other platform. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm actually like really considering getting Black Ops 4 because of this. I haven't purchased it yet, but it's being considered heavily.
I mean, I have fun in it. And like me and Jesse was talking about, we literally have fun. You know, he had to be shady and post that picture, but
Which one?
when we got first place.
Oh,
when you got first place.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
But yeah, okay, yeah. Anything else, Corey? Then we're gonna jump into what's been in our arsenal.
Yeah, with Forza.
Yeah, Forza feels really good to play. I've been playing a little bit on Xbox One X. I played the demo I played. I did download Forza Horizon 4 off of Game Pass yesterday, and I'm excited to jump in and play it. There's just so many games out right now. I mean, I'm trying to grind a little bit in Destiny. I've been pushing through Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Assassin's Creed Odyssey just came out. Mario Party on Switch is out that I want to play a little bit of that. Like, there's so many good games out right now. It's hard to pick and choose which ones I want to play. And like, my friends that I play Destiny with were getting mad at me. And like, I also ended up getting mad, and my friends that I play Destiny with, well, one friend in particular was getting mad at me because I was playing other games instead of grinding in Destiny. I'm like, I got stuff to do, man. I only have a limited amount of game time every night now. Like, I don't get to sit at home and play games 10 hours a day like you do. I just, like, I want to get through these games and talk about them, so.
Yeah.
Right. Well, let's jump into our arsenal, and I'm going to start with you, Corey, because you posted something about Destiny too.
Yeah, this really, this is probably a little too late for a lot of people who got it when it came out, but Destiny 2 Forsaken came with a spark of light to allow new players, or maybe people who dropped off after launch or whatever, to reach level 30 and light level 320, so they could jump into Forsaken with their friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
They give you a little warning that says, hey, you will have to skip the previous 3 campaigns, and you can't go back to them after you accept this spark, right? And it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. You gotta complete these campaigns to reach Forsaken, or you just skip them, right? So I was like, okay, I don't like the way my Titan looks. I'm gonna make a new Titan and just jump the level, and because I've already done it all, right? And I'm just gonna start a new character in Forsaken. So I was leveling, and yesterday I went to play with my cousin because he just got Forsaken also, and we've been I was gonna run him through the Curse of Osiris and Warmind campaigns because he wants to play the campaigns. He's that kind of guy. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll run him through. I gotta do some stuff with my Titan anyway, and I'll just help you level up because I'm higher level. We went to go do a heroic adventure on Mercury, and it told me that not all fire team members had unlocked it. I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe you have to beat the campaign first or whatever. Turns out, by accepting that, when you have to complete the campaigns to open up certain stuff on these maps.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you don't complete the campaigns, you don't open that stuff up. Well, I skipped the campaigns, and I can't go back and do them to unlock these things to help grind my character. So I locked myself out of, probably 14 daily powerful engrams a week, and probably 3 or 4 weekly powerful engrams, just because I used that Spark of Light, which makes my grind 3 times longer than anybody else.
That's stupid. I'm like, yeah. When I said you posted, I'm like, wait. Why? In fact, why would it? Why can't all this stuff be just connected? It's just only DLC. That what happens in Forsaken shouldn't affect the rest of the whole game, and it feels like that.
I understand. Okay, I accepted that I can't go back and complete these campaigns. I get that, right? Because
But
you're
they shouldn't
moving
even.
on.
They shouldn't even have that. They should
Well,
have just
you have to
kept it
complete
open.
you have to complete those campaigns to open up Forsaken. So I get that part of it, but it should treat your character like you completed those campaigns already, and not that you just skipped them, because you're locking players out of content. And I don't know if they know about this bug. I never looked it up or anything. I just saw a bunch of people had the same issue that I was having, and I don't really care that much to go and see if Bungie is addressing it or whatever, because they've actually been pretty good about addressing things like that since Forsaken's come out. They've fixed a bunch of things, but it was a heroic adventure that I only needed to be 300 light, and I was 508, but I wanted that powerful engram, right? Because I want to at least try the raid at some point. Can't go do it because I didn't do the Osiris campaign. So
you pretty much would have to start the whole game over from the beginning to get to it?
I mean, I would have to, yeah.
That's insane.
But, I mean, there's other ways to get powerful engrams, bigger ways, your daily and weekly strikes, your daily and weekly crucible stuff, your daily and weekly gambit, your heroic story missions, that kind of stuff.
But it's just you pay for the Curse of Osiris, those 2 DLCs.
Yeah.
And then the new DLC, out of the old DLC, to me personally, that's unfair.
Yeah, well, I started playing as that's what happened on my Titan. So on my Warlock, I just went ahead and started leveling my Warlock up because I want my cousin to get the full experience. So I'm you know what? I'm just my Warlock's a little bit higher level than you, but we can level up together. We can play together. We can just do stuff together with my Warlock. And I'm actually gonna try maybe sometime around Christmas or whatever. I'm gonna delete one of my characters and just run a second Titan to the point where I can get through Forsaken, so I can do those things, because I like the Titan and the Warlock. I don't care about a hunter, and I don't have time to run more than 3 characters anyway. I'll probably run 1 on Xbox and 2 on PlayStation, and that'll be my destiny. But it just it was just so not what I expected, because they've been so careful with Forsaken to get their messaging right and get everything right this time, because they are losing people, and this is a major issue if you're locking especially newcomers who want to level up out of content. So I don't know, I hope they address it, but other than that, I've been having a blast with Forsaken. I've been really just loving the content that they the Tangled Shore is cool. I am doing the quest now for the Dreaming City, so hopefully I'll get in there at some point. But yeah, I mean, I'm at 513, which is great. But if I wasn't locked out of that content, I could easily be 530 right now. It's that much content that I'm locked out of. So, but yeah, I've been playing Destiny on both consoles. I've been playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I really like that game. I'm not far enough yet to have a total judgment on the game, obviously, but so far I am having the feeling that it's not as good as Rise of the Tomb Raider, but it also feels more in line with the first game in terms of it's pretty linear. The spaces are big, but it's remember what Uncharted tried to do with the Jeep scene, where it was yeah, this is a big open space, but it's pretty linear. That's kind of what this feels like a little bit. But I do like the fact that it's more puzzle based instead of combat based. I mean, there's still a lot of combat, but it's less combat than Rise, definitely so far.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that's what interested me about it, and why I think I'm gonna like it a lot, is I don't care for the like the fighting and stuff like that. Because my favorite is still that very first Tomb Raider, where it's like, like you're going against animals and stuff, but it's mostly like puzzle based and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, this one is more story driven. It's like you'll walk into a lot of cutscenes and story will happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've probably played for like 5 hours, and probably at least an hour and a half has been cutscenes. I'm like, am I playing a Kojima game here? Jeez, what is happening?
Oh, wow.
Nah, and it's not that bad. But yeah, Shadow Tomb Raider. That's a game I'm gonna. When I need to like just focus, because Game of the Year stuff is coming up. I need to focus on these games. So next week, I'm probably gonna take some time away from Destiny and really focus on Shadow of the Tomb Raider and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I've probably played about an hour of. I like it, but the opening of that game is very strange. Like, they have these, like, tutorial islands kind of thing where, like, you just kind of clear out these islands, but they're, like, all three of these islands are very similar, where there's, like, wolf dens, and then there's, like, a tower that you have to clear out. It's, like, it's really strange. It's not like Origins, where they kind of threw you in and you're like you're watching like Bayek's story kind of unfold in the beginning.
Well, and then what we were talking about the other day, if it takes like as long as to beat a full game for it to get good.
Yeah, like that Polygon story said that like the Assassin's Creed Odyssey gets good after 15 hours. I'm like, I was telling you guys earlier when we were recording Powlock, it's like, remember when people were complaining that Assassin's Creed 3 didn't start until 4 hours in?
Right.
Because you're playing, not Connor, the other guy. I forget what his name was. But, yeah, I still think Assassin's Creed is better than most people give it credit for, but that's just my opinion.
Which is weird because of that poll that's been everybody's just like, is Assassin's Creed overrated or it's good? Yeah. And it's just like,
I mean, I think Assassin's Creed has definitely had some missteps in the series, but
yes,
overall, I think the quality of the series is relatively high for a game that's been going as long as it has. I mean, Unity, kind of a misstep. Revelations was kind of like, okay, I get it, and 3 is a low point for a lot of people, but like, you look at Black Flag, you look at Origins, even Syndicate, Brotherhood was amazing. I don't know. I've been up and down on this series a lot, but like overall I think it's a fun series.
Well, it is. Yeah. I was just want to say that Assassin's Creed, I think, went downhill at the first one was like interesting. The second one was at the highest peak, and it kind of set what Assassin's Creed should be. And then after that, it just became a laughingstock, and with all these bugs and stuff.
I think there's two camps of Assassin's Creed fans now, which is like the old games were like, the Ezio trilogy, Black Flag, like the Syndicate, that set of games, and now there's the new fans of Odyssey and Origins, which is like it's a straight up action RPG now. It's not even like sneaking in, and it's not even about stealth and sneaking in and killing your target without being caught or anything anymore. So, yeah, but I mean, Odyssey, I do want to dive in. I hear that game is like twice as big as Origins, which I sunk 70 hours into Origins and didn't even clear out all the areas, or do any of the DLC. And like,
I still need to beat the game.
This game is at least Giant Bomb's. I think Alex Navarro reviewed it for Giant Bomb, and he said he put like 105 hours into it and still didn't see everything. So I'm like, wow, jeez, wow. But so I'm looking forward to finishing that. And then I got Madden because I was inspired by the Browns' non-losses. Decided to go online and play. So I have issues, but I think it's an online thing. I don't think it's a Madden local thing. Mm-hmm. Like I was telling Jesse when we were playing PUBG, Like when they do like replays and stuff in the NFL, and they kind of do that freeze frame thing, and then they like draw the arrow of where the guy's going, and then they kind of move the guy digitally across the field, but he doesn't have any animations or anything. They just like move him to show like how the play kind of unfolds before they do the replay or whatever. I threw the ball to a wide open guy, nobody around him, and they just like, it was like that. I just saw his safety move across the field, no animations, just kind of like float over to the ball and intercept the ball. And I'm like, that's not how football works. Like, he's clearly all the way over there. Like, just because he pressed Y for a user interception doesn't mean you can just float his guy over to the ball and catch the ball. You know? And then, like, 4 plays in a row, I fumble the ball. That's not real. You know, like, I don't know. There's a lot of lag playing online. You know, yeah. And I'm not complaining because like I know I'm not good and like I should probably be losing. You know, like I played 3 games tonight and I went 1 and 2 tonight. But like some of these things that happen, man, like I can't even get my defense set, and then an error message will pop up that says your opponent is experiencing network issues, and it'll pause my game, like just like not like pause, but it'll just like freeze my game, and then after it freezes, it'll go like 10 times speed to catch up to with what the game is actually doing, to the point where like I can't get my guys set, I can't adjust my linebackers to where I want them, I can't adjust my safeties to where I want them, and like the play is like almost over by the time I actually gain control back.
What?
Yeah, and it's like, what are you doing? This is not acceptable. So I actually tried it in like an exhibition game, and like the control, like if you're not playing online, the game feels really smooth and really fluid, and it actually like works how you want it to work, you know, like and it's really fun. But I want to play people online. Like Madden's like one of the only games I actually want to go online and actually play people. And if your network is that bad that you have to like pause the game for somebody because the other guy is having network issues, that's unfair. That is literally unfair. And after every game, it asks you how your network connection was. And like 3 out of the 10 games I've played online, I've had to report network connection is unacceptable. Like that's like a option. It says
unacceptable.
Yeah, it says my internet connection was great, my internet connection was okay, and my internet connection with this player was unacceptable. I've had to report it unacceptable 3 times. And I've reported it okay probably like 4 times. So
and this is running on the OX.
Yeah,
that doesn't matter what it's running on. It's
an internet network issue for EA, like running server side. So it doesn't have anything to do with the Xbox. It's the connection to the other players and how it runs on server side.
Yeah. Well, I wonder they maybe have it on a host set, like where people are hosting, like one of you is hosting the game.
I mean, it might be that, but I don't know. It's just really weird. Like it was running really bad for me. So
yeah, that would be in a game like that, you can't have lag. It's just not.
Yeah, it's infuriating when you're watching some of these players like do the freeze animation thing where like they just move across the field without any animation. You know,
I thought they would have their stuff together.
So
and you wonder how much of that can you cause to happen on your end if you want. You know. Yeah. It's like people with leg switches and things like that.
Yeah, that's like at first that's what I thought, but like the one guy messaged me, like the one guy that we were having some serious connection issues, and the guy messaged me. He's like, "Sorry, dude, I don't know what's happening." I'm like, "It's nothing you can do about it." Like, you know, I don't know who to believe or who not to believe, but like,
yeah,
if he's messaging me saying that it's not his fault, like,
This would be more EA.
I'm gonna go ahead and like say, okay, well, if he's taking the time to pause the game and message me, like there's obviously an issue here, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I'm excited to play Madden again. I don't know how long I'm gonna play it, but for now, it's fun. So, but yeah, that's kind of all I've been playing, except for some games I've played with Jesse. But I'll let Jesse talk about the few games that we tried. Well, one of the games we tried to play, and then we'll just have the conversation there. But
that's all. That's all been in your arsenal.
Yeah. Sorry, that was a long chat.
No, good. That's a good one. So Jesse, what's been in your arsenal?
Yeah, so I've been playing. Let's see. I played Bayonetta and finished it. I played Hellblade and finished it. I played. Well, I think I said it last week. I played Doom and finished it.
Yeah.
I've been working on starting Resident Evil 7, and I'm enjoying that so far.
How far are you in that game?
Just to the point of where I killed the girlfriend and you know, that's basically where I'm at. Or like where the people like had me chained up to the table or whatever, and then I broke free. And then I broke free, and now I'm trying to escape or get away, or you know, whatever I'm supposed to do. I don't really know.
Okay, because you're about to have some good old fun. And I can't say nothing else.
So yeah, and then me and Corey like tried playing For Honor, and that game is just like already I used to be into like Skyrim and stuff like that, you know, but I'm not really into that kind of stuff anymore, like, you know, like swords and
medieval,
all that kind of stuff. And so like we wanted to try For Honor just because it was something that we have that was on Game Pass or whatever. And, you know, like a lot of people talked about it and stuff. And I already just wasn't really super interested in it, but I thought, why not give it a try? And so then we tried playing that, and it just is just so, there's so many things that you have to do and like worry about. And like, it's something that you definitely would have to work on and get used to playing.
A bit convoluted.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, it's just something you'd really have to like practice on and stuff, and so we just didn't really feel like putting the time in, you know, to record anything. It's
like some like we wanted to get through the tutorial so we could try to do some sort of like squad goals thing about it, but like I didn't even get through the tutorial. It was so hard. It's like somebody made Dark Souls into a fighting game. Is what it feels like.
Yeah, and like, but then on top of that, made it even more like convoluted.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a cool concept and stuff. Like I like the idea of For Honor, but like, man, it's hard. It was hard. I don't know if it's because I'm tired or like I just did not know like how like the timing of everything, but it was brutal. Especially when you got to the guys with the shields and like you had to wear down their stamina before you could attack them. And it's just like, well, if I'm dodge rolling or like blocking them, my stamina is going down just as fast as theirs is, you know? And it's like, I don't know how to time any of this. It's just hard.
Yeah, it just wasn't worth the because we wanted to try to just record something quickly, you know, and it's we don't want to.
Wasn't For Honor one of those games that, okay, here it is at E3, okay, next thing you know it's out on the shelf? Be like, wait, what?
I think they showed it the year before it came out.
Yeah, I remember them making a big deal about it.
That's what I'm kind of mean. Like they showed it once, and then the game was like on the store shelves.
They showed it at E3 2016, and it was out in February of 2017. So
no demo or nothing.
There was a beta for people who pre-ordered it.
Yeah, I remember the beta.
Oh, okay.
So, But yeah, I mean, I have a couple friends who were like really obsessed with it for like 3 or 4 months, but
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
again,
when we want to
people.
record something quickly, though, it's just like we don't want to screw around with it.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to like fight you, but like it was just
a mess.
I'll put it this way: after we were done trying to fiddle around with the tutorial, I deleted it as soon as we were done because like I just don't want to ever try to go back to it.
I know it was free on Games with Go, so I still have it on my system.
That's why I got it. It was because it was free.
Yeah, yeah.
I would have never purchased For Honor, So
yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't. I don't want that to take anything away from the game. It's super clean. It's polished. It's got a cool style to it. It's just you got to really be into that sort of game to really put the time in and learn it.
Yeah.
It's one of those games you have to learn and have patience with, and I don't have either of those things. So, as you guys know from playing Halo and Division and stuff, I just want to run in there and shoot everybody like I'm freaking Rambo or something, and then I die.
You down.
Then I die, and then a third of the episode is you guys by yourselves.
Well, For Honor reminds me of that Prince of Persia game that came out.
No, it's not Prince of Persia at all.
It just reminds me how it's like it's a 1-on-1 battle.
Oh, yeah.
But what else, Jesse? I'm sorry.
I also played some Forza Horizon 4, and I'm really enjoying that game.
What a pretty game!
Yeah, it's just so good.
I put it on Xbox One X. Like I put it on graphics mode where like it supposedly it runs at 30 like 4K 30, but I mean I don't have a 4K TV, but like it still kind of super samples everything.
Yeah,
the cars look freaking real, man. And that thing on my X is running at higher than 30. I think it's running about probably low to mid 40s in terms of frames a second.
Do you have it on the big screen?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm just like flying through the because that opening section you go through all the seasons or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, dude, when you get to fall and you just see those leaves pop, like the colors pop.
Yeah.
And it's like my TV is like 9 years old at this point, and it's still popping those colors like that. It is just like it's unreal, man. And then I switched it over to the 60 frames mode, and like it still looks really good, but like if you want to do some sort of like photo mode or whatever in Forza, you better have it on that resolution mode because everything looks so good. Next year when I come, I have got to see that on your TV. Well, the thing is like we have a 4K TV in the bedroom now, like a small one. I don't know if I ever told you guys this, but like we my small TV. Remember the big TV that was in our bedroom that was like the 45-inch Ed the last time you were here? It died, so we had to replace it. I'm like, now's just as good a time as ever to get a cheap 4K TV for the bedroom. And like I kind of want to move that TV out to my desk and put my second monitor in there as a TV because like we don't watch TV in there. What do we need a nice TV in there for? So, but I just, man, that game is so good. Sorry, Jesse, I didn't mean to like.
No, that's fine.
Steal
it definitely is amazing. Even playing it on the regular OG Xbox, it still looks good.
Yeah, it's good on Slim, and I'll talk about my experience with it. But go ahead, Jesse.
Yeah, and then the only other game that I can think of offhand that I've been playing is Mario Party. So
yeah, I'll probably play some of that tomorrow with my wife because like my cousin just got married and tomorrow's his kind of wedding reception. Like, you know, they didn't want to spend a lot of money on a wedding and a big reception or anything, so we're having like a family party at like a brunch type thing. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Nice.
There's gonna be eggs,
sausage. Sounds so good. I'm hungry.
And biscuits and gravy. And I'm like, oh, you had me
Biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits and gravy.
Oh, I'm so excited. Biscuits and gravy. If I could eat biscuits and gravy every morning for breakfast, I'd be so happy. But I would also be dead.
It'd be big.
So, no, I would be dead.
Oh.
Yeah, biscuits and gravy are so good.
Well, it depends if you're gonna throw the gravy with mashed potatoes. Yeah, the sausage gravy. Yeah,
man.
But that sausage gravy got to be on point though. It has to be on point. No joke.
I can't wait.
But anything else, Jesse?
No, that's pretty much it. Other than that's pretty much it.
Pretty much it. Okay. For me, I'm just gonna stick to Xbox. I play. I'm at the end of Quantum Break, so I'm getting close to finishing that, and then I'll be starting on some other games. Getting ready for Red Dead Redemption later on this month. So I have Forza Horizon 4. And I messaged Jesse just out of the blue. He kind of laughed at me. I was just like, I want a picture of Lennon. I want to put his head on top of my car because I made my car yellow, and then I have like green stripes around it with my left side saying A, the other side saying X, because my license plate says Arsenal X. And I wanted Lennon to be on top of the hood because he's our mascot. But they don't have no animals in here just yet.
Lame.
Well, and mind you, though, like I had no context of what he was talking. I didn't realize that he was talking about Forza when he messaged this, and I'm just like, that's really random.
Well, no, what was really funny though is that I'm texting you, and then I see Phantom Mega's online. I'm just like, this punk is home. It's like, how the heck you gonna get home? It's just like, you should have told me. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this game. I updated my car. I'm driving the Audi right now. I have a Ford truck, but I haven't did nothing with it. I got a house because like when you get to the autumn, they kind of give you a free house. And then you go from there. And I'm assuming that throughout the game, you'll be able to buy more houses and stuff. They kind of break all, like when you're in, I think it's summer, they start you off with, they kind of break down every level of races that you'll be doing and stuff. And then when you get to autumn, they start opening all these races that you could just go to and everything. I didn't know that when it got to autumn, most of the tracks would be mud based, and my car can't handle mud. And I'm just like, oh boy, this is not good. But I'm definitely enjoying it. It really pops. It really looks good. And I think, like you said, Jesse, playing it on the original one with Corey playing it on X and me playing it on Slim, it looks good everywhere. Like this thing really looks detailed. I'm not just like, all right, you guys did so good with this color and with this design. And I can't wait to see how people's cars is going to advance and the decals and stuff that's going to come later on in the year just by custom making.
I gotta make my ever since Forza Motorsport 3. Every Forza game I've played, I've made Prowl from Transformers.
Nice.
So like I gotta continue that. It's usually a Nissan Z, but I think I need to find a new car. I think it's time.
I want to Skype with you because I just want to see you do that. Because I know Corey, you probably a little bit creative. Probably putting the car together. I don't know about you, Jesse. I haven't seen your car designs yet because I will probably be like, I need to come up to Wisconsin.
Also, you can drive trucks in this game now too, right? So like,
yeah.
I kind of want to make a Ninja Turtles themed truck. I think it would be really cool.
Yeah, you could in the last one too. There's a lot of different kinds of types of cars that you can drive. I hope they bring the Warthog into this one again because that was such an awesome.
There's like a whole secret mission revolving around the Warthog.
Nice.
I don't want to spoil it, but I hear it's pretty cool.
We covered it on. We covered it like a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
on
did we? Did we?
Oh
cover
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It might
I
have
read
been.
it.
It might have been while I was out, but the Halo mission. Oh, can't wait. Oh, man,
Shoot, I can't
I'm so
wait
hyped
to-
for Halo. Like Halo Infinite. I'm just like
I just wonder if they're gonna do a Hot Wheels thing again.
They will. They made mad bank on that Hot Wheels and everybody like loved that DLC.
Yeah.
For Forza 3. I want to play the Outrun DLC if it ever comes. The old Sega Outrun game. I'm just like, oh, please have this. Yeah. Another thing about this game that I love, I'm loving the radio songs, the radio stations. I'm man. The music in this game, I was just like, I need the soundtrack. But it's really cool, really chill, and just like, even though it's danceable at times, it just fits when you're just driving around.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much what I'm focusing. I'm going to be playing more of my Extinction games, like jumping into Far Cry 5. When I get finished with Quantum Break, I'm actually going to jump back into Dishonored 2 because I'm a little bit further in that game, but I just took a break from it, and I'm going to hop into it and then finish it and then continue to go on more. I am playing stuff for Switch and for PS4, but you guys can check out Nintendo Power Block. And if you guys haven't checked it out, do look on the Nintendo Power Block YouTube channel. Go to ngrradio.com and you can check out that episode. But we're going to get into some Arsenal news, and we kind of got about a couple of good stories. So Jesse kind of sent this one to us on which one? Euro game?
It might have been the Euro Gamer one.
Yeah, this is one I got actually from Game Informer. So all these stories are coming from Game Informer. Inferno joins the fight in Soul Calibur 6, which is another game that I'm planning on getting. I didn't get to try the beta, but from what I talked to some of my friends, they really like this game. They say it's really going to be good. Bandai Namco has revealed that Inferno is joining the Soul Calibur 6 roster. As a new trailer shows, it looks like fighting him is going to continue to be a massive pain in the rear. Inferno's gimmick is centered on his ability to mimic other combatants, and also the fact that, well, he's on fire. Soul Calibur 6 is coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC on October 19th. So.
Yeah, that character looks so awesome. Like the new skin of him, like for this game, it looked cool. So,
yeah.
I'll be going to see Halloween actually that Thursday, and then I'll go to Target and get it that Friday. So, but we're gonna move on. It was just
no sale.
Right. Mike Morhaime steps down as Blizzard president. J. Allen Brack taking his place. Mike Morhaime, co-founder and longtime Blizzard leader, has stepped down as president of the company after 27 years on the job. Morhaime is being succeeded by executive producer of World of Warcraft, J. Allen Brack. After many years of working with some of the industry's most talented people to create games and worlds for you to play in, I decided it's time for someone else to lead Blizzard Entertainment. Morhaime wrote in a letter to the community. Morhaime says he is still staying on as an advisor to the company, but is letting Brack take the reins to steer Blizzard from here on out. Brack has been at Blizzard for 12 years, taking different roles at the company, but most recently serving as executive producer of World of Warcraft. Before joining Blizzard, Brack worked at Sony on Star Wars Galaxies and at Origin Systems for EA prior to that. Blizzard was founded on the promise of making great games, and I plan to continue this fierce commitment to quality, our community, and our purpose. I couldn't be more excited about what's next given the strength of our pipeline. Breck said in his own letter to the community, "One thing that won't change going forward are deeply held commitments that are core to who we are as a company, to gameplay first, to quality in everything we do, and to listening to and partnering with our community. Blizzard's BlizzCon convention is just 1 month away, and it seems likely that Breck will make a public appearance for the keynote address." I don't know much about Blizzard because I'm not a PC gamer. I know of World of Warcraft and Diablo 3 and how's that on Xbox and PS4 and soon to be on Switch. But any thoughts about that, guys? Do you think we could see some more stuff of Blizzard's come to Xbox or even consoles with this new role change?
I mean, I think Blizzard kind of operates in a fashion unlike everybody else, where they kind of just do what they want and put things where they fit the best. Like StarCraft, I don't think would ever come to consoles, but you look at something like Overwatch, it's super successful on consoles. So like, I don't know, Blizzard usually makes super quality games, even if they're not games for us. Like, I don't know, I've never really been a big StarCraft guy, but those games are always super polished and in some respects gave us Halo Wars on Xbox, because RTS became popular through StarCraft and Microsoft wanted to challenge that, so that was cool. But I really love Overwatch, and I think Diablo is going to sell well on Switch, and Hearthstone's obviously great, and World of Warcraft's going on still after 15 years at this point. So
yes,
I think it's safe to say Blizzard's still gonna be all right. It's kind of sad though, because he's like the last founder to leave Blizzard, and now the only thing that would worry me is now that Activision kind of owns Blizzard.
Yes,
or they are partners or whatever. I just hope that the Activision influence doesn't start creeping in now that the founders are gone.
Yeah,
but
that would be something to worry about. But I think the thing is though, if Activision was smart though, they'd let them do things the way they've been doing it, because they haven't really, it's not like they've ever really needed the help per se, So I mean, they do fine by themselves. I mean, there's a reason Activision wanted to team up. They're a big franchise. They're a big company to have on your side. So
yeah, that's just money. That's just guaranteed money. That's all.
Yeah.
Do you think that he'll allow Hearthstone actually to come to consoles? So Xbox One, PS4, Switch, and if that happens, do you think crossplay could happen with that?
I mean, it's possible that with the personnel change like that we could see something, change in those kind of directions. But I think that's all that stuff. I think a lot of the time is based on just business and on how much money things are going to cost to do, and whether it ends up being easy enough that they can make a decent profit off of it. Because if you have to put too much money in to make it happen, I feel like sometimes a lot of times people just will back out. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. But it's hard to say. It's hard to say how they're thinking, or what if anything's really gonna change. Because I mean, he may be taking that position now, but I'm sure he's had some, a good chunk of say in things before, he's been at a big position before that. So
yeah, he kind of worked on one of the biggest properties at Blizzard. So
yeah.
Well, we're going to move on. Warner Brothers to distribute Cyberpunk 2077 in the United States. Warner Brothers and CD Projekt Red have announced that the former will be in charge of distributing the latest, newest game, Cyberpunk 2077. This means that Cyberpunk 2077 will use Warner Brothers retail distribution network to release the game and get it get it into stores when it eventually releases. The deal is pretty much the same as when CDPR worked with Warner Brothers for The Witcher 2 and The Witcher 3, meaning that anywhere those games were sold is pretty likely for Cyberpunk 2077. Bandai Namco also distribute those two games in Europe, though lawsuits were involved in the case of Witcher 3. In the case of Witcher 3, the announcement for Warner Brothers' involvement in distribution was made roughly 2 years ahead of launch, and Bandai Namco's involvement was made 1 year ahead. While CDPR has always said Cyberpunk 2077 is ways off, these deals are rarely made speculatively, so some degree of eternal targeting is likely closer to concrete than we know. Cyberpunk 2077 is releasing on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. So it's a good deal. I think it's a safe deal. If they work very well with Warner Brothers because of Witcher 3 and Witcher 2, and they had huge success with those games. Don't mess with anything that is kind of legit. That's going to make you some money. And I know you're into this, Jesse, and I like I said, I have a wait and see approach for this. What about you, Corey?
I mean, I really enjoyed my time with The Witcher 3, but Cyberpunk is kind of like a wait and see thing for me. It just doesn't that kind of. The shift from third person to first person is really kind of like what kind of is moving me away from that game. To be honest, I don't really care for like Skyrim or Fallout or those first person kind of like quote unquote immersive open world RPG style things. And it kind of feels like that's where Cyberpunk is moving. And like that's good. It's just that those games aren't for me because I don't like it. It doesn't take anything away that Cyberpunk is probably going to be something really impressive to see and the branching paths and see how much you miss if you go one way versus the other and how it's going to be an interesting game to watch. But again, I love The Witcher, and I think CD Projekt Red is one of those developers that does a lot under the hood that you don't really see on screen. But the Warner Brothers partnership, they've been distributing their games for a while. Even the original game on Steam and good old games and stuff. So,
okay.
I think they just want to continue that partnership. I think it works out for both parties. I think Warner Brothers likes having a game of the quality of The Witcher under their banner. Especially since, technically they don't have a fantasy RPG on the way or anything. I think that The Witcher looks good as a fantasy RPG for them that they don't have on the way with magic and ogres and dragons.
Are you talking about the follow-up?
Mystical beings.
To Shadow of Mordor?
No.
We're talking about that sweet Harry Potter game.
I know. We won't talk about that mess. But did you guys hear about the creator of The Witcher? He's suing CD Projekt Red for I think $16 million or something.
Yeah. Even though he signed a contract and they offered him more money and he said no. And that's in a tweet and in an interview with Game Informer. Says he regrets not taking more money, but he's okay with it. And this was back in 2016 or whatever. Yeah, so now he's suing them for royalties. And I'm just like, dude, you signed a contract. Yeah, you signed a contract, and they offered you more money after the fact, and you turned it down because you don't like video games. That's not their fault. They offered you more money twice. Now you're going to try to turn around and sue them? I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's going to be...
I'm sure they're going to settle at some point because,
They won't. He signed that contract. All he got to do is sign.
I know, but it's going to be cheaper for them to settle than go to court.
But he's suing them, so it would be.
I know, but they're still going to have to pay lawyers money and draw this out. And I think they're going to settle because they don't want to spend $16 million. They want to spend about $2 and secondly, CD Projekt Red will probably do the right thing because they seem to do the right thing across the board.
You will be in court. You will pay for your own lawyer.
Just say we'll give you what we offered you. Here you go.
Yeah, I wouldn't give them nothing. Welcome. You signed that contract. We let's go to court because I'm gonna show the judge.
Maybe they'll let them play that other sweet fantasy RPG they have coming up.
Moving on to the next story.
Yeah, see, the reason Ed doesn't want to talk about it is he's too excited about it.
I know.
He wants to stay on track.
I know. I forgot WB had Shadow of Mordor though, for real.
I know. Battlefield versus Weapon list has some curious omissions. I was trying to make it sarcastic. That's why I said Shadow of Mordor, because I know you're talking about Harry Potter.
Yeah, but I totally forgot that they had Lord of the Rings.
So.
Yeah. Battlefield 5's weapon list has some curious omissions. Today, Electronic Arts and DICE revealed the list of weapons, gadgets, and vehicles appearing in Battlefield 5 at launch. With 30 primary weapons, 7 sidearms, and 9 melee weapons, 16 gadgets, and 24 vehicles, the initial arsenal sounds decent. Miniguns should be intimately familiar to Battlefield 1 players, considering roughly half of them appear in that game as well. But when you start to dig into the details, there are some interesting omissions. 2 of the weapons most associate American forces during the war. I see what you're doing, Corey. Hold on 1 second, everybody. I got to see what Jesse's doing.
I was just going.
Oh my goodness. 2 of the weapons most associated American forces during the war, the M1 Garand and Bar M1918, are nowhere to be found. This shouldn't be too surprising since EA previously announced the game is launching with only the British and German factions. DICE plans to add more factions and presumably weapons as it rolls out new theaters of war in its Tires of War post-launch campaign. Battlefield 5 releases on anywhere from November 9th to November 20th, depending on what version you purchase for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, or PC. And this is kind of Game Informer's take on it. EA plans to follow the historical trajectory of World War II over multiple theaters of war after the launch of Battlefield 5 sounds interesting, but it's created a non-stop series of announcements with problematic optics. People are going to gripe when you ship without critical factions, iconic weapons, and famous battles. Most summarize DICE plans to add most of this content at the launch because, frankly, you have to be insane not to release a remaster of the classic Wake Island map from Battlefield 1942. But the continuing cascade of not at launch omissions has left many, myself, the person Matt Burtz who wrote this included, wondering if there will be anywhere close to the amount of content a regular Battlefield game has upon release. So once again, the craziness of Battlefield 5 continues. I'm only interested in playing the campaign, and any multiplayer stuff I do will be with Jesse. And if Corey picks up the game, okay. Well, the online portion will be done with Jesse. Other than that, yeah.
I've got too much to play now.
Okay.
Too many big games. Stop giving me more games to play.
You'd already need $400 more extra dollars because the Switch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Word.
Well, we're going to move on to the next 2 stories. Seattle PD provides opt-in registry to help stop swatting tragedies. Swatting is difficult to explain to people who do not already understand the concept. Calling the police SWAT team on someone on the internet because you don't like them, they won a match you wanted to win, or because you think it's funny is entirely alien to a lot of people, and thus it never really gets as much attention as people think. That changed late last year when the swatting incident led to an entirely uninvolved man's death, leading police departments departments and legislators to start taking it more seriously. Now, the Seattle Police Department is taking a notable step. Seattle PD has established an opt-in registry for residents of the city and outer areas to make it harder to raise alarm bells about specific addresses. The idea is that someone who believes they will be at risk for swatting can enter their address or the address of their studio, key in a text field to state swatting concerns, and wait for review and approval. Swatting, for those who are unaware, is when a call is made to emergency services falsely stating that an urgent situation, such as a hostage situation, is occurring at an address. Usually, it happens when a streamer is broadcasting so the caller can watch the SWAT team arrive on camera, but has also been known to occur as an act of petty revenge for assumed transgressions. Having an address on file does not change anything in the procedure beyond the officers going to the scene beyond aware that swatting concerns are associated with their address. While not said in so many words, the implication is that the officers on the scene will know not to come in guns blazing without verifying something is actually happening. The website stresses that the speed of involvement will not be affected in any way. To our knowledge, no solution to this problem exists, so we engineer one, the website reads. So this is a good step. And we'll see how it actually will go to play if swatting ever occurs in Seattle. But what you guys think about it?
I mean, I think it's good. You know, I don't really know how you stop things like this, but I mean, I think it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. Just the fact of like them making police, like more aware of that issue. You know, like, because I don't know, it's just such a weird thing and just such a dumb thing that people do. Like I don't get it. Yeah, but I'm glad that they're kind of like trying to, train more around the idea of that this kind of stuff can happen. So hopefully, like, no one gets killed who innocent people get killed anymore. Because I mean that's the problem is like you could get unlucky and just have one of the SWAT people that come that's just got a itchy finger or whatever, and that person could be dead. It's such a bad job as it is, and then they have to deal with that crap. So
yeah, and there hasn't been any updates from where the man's death from last year. They captured the person who actually did the swatting, and the other two, they are charged with a crime, but they haven't been convicted yet. So I don't know if they are. I don't know if the process is still going. I'll probably have to look online and see if there's any updates. But I think all three of them are being charged for that crime. So hopefully probably by next week or something I'll have an update if I find anything. But we're going to get into our last story before we get to our quick Arsenal exchange. Skybound Games finishing Telltale's The Walking Dead. And this is kind of just breaking while we're recording. The ongoing saga of Telltale's closure and what will become of its various projects continues to take twists and turns. Today, The Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman announced at a New York Comic-Con panel that Skybound Games will be finishing the series, which was only a few episodes away from finishing up. Skybound Games is the gaming division of Skybound Entertainment, the publisher behind The Walking Dead comic, making them a logical fit for the game series. While the press release says that Skybound will be working with members of the original Telltale team to finish the story in a way the fans deserve, there were no details of exactly what that means. It's not clear if that means the entire The Walking Dead, the final season team, everyone who wants to come back, or merely select members based on Skybound's needs and desires. Robert Kirkman said after the announcement that it was imperative to save the game because we can't lose Rick and Clem in the same year. We have reached out to Skybound for clarification and for details about the revenue of the game. When Telltale Games collapsed, none of the nearly 300 employees who lost their job received severance payments from the company. Telltale initially intended to keep 25 employees to fulfill contractual obligations, but has seemingly let the skeleton crew go as well.
Interesting. I mean, I'm on one hand, we talked about this on Pal Block before we knew the story, right? Like, I think it just sucks that those employees didn't get severance, man. I hope Skybound tries to bring back at least part of that team to help, and I hope that, you know, I know it's not really technically their problem with this, right? Mm-hmm. But like, I hope they bring that team on and to finish the story, because I know that those developers like really care about Clementine and that story, right? And I hope that Skybound somehow like gives them a band-aid at least of hope instead of the garbage that Telltale did to them, right? You know, and it sucks because like I really want to play Batman Season 2 on Switch, but I'm not buying it if because of what Telltale did to them, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
It's just, man, it's just such a garbage situation. Like, I'm glad that game's getting finished on one hand, and I really hope that Skybound does good by these employees, but like, just, man, the crap that Telltale pulled is just like, no. Every time they're brought up, it just like makes me furious with what they did.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys listen to Arsenal X, like about 2 weeks ago, me and Jesse, we was talking about if Microsoft bought Telltale and what they could do with their franchises. But of course that didn't happen, and you know, we were just having a good discussion, having our theories and stuff. It's good to see that Skybound has it. I have a feeling that they're probably gonna put an extra episode. I think they're gonna make this 5 episodes, and I think people are going to buy this game so to make sure that those employees that they hire back do get paid.
Yeah. I mean, I really hope that, like, because, like, I know Skybound's been wanting to have, like, some sort of gaming division anyway, you know? Yeah. And, like, to bring on the Telltale team to fit, like, that Walking Dead team to finish this game, and then, you know, I know he probably wants to make, like, a Invincible Telltale game, Telltale style game, too, and this, like, you know, get them an engine that works, and then get them some sort of thing, like, you know, it's the thing we were talking about on Power Block with Netflix and stuff. Like, Netflix is trying to get into this style of thing too with episodes. Like, I think it would be worth maybe investing into something like this for them.
Which actually, not people know this, but they've actually had those kind of things for a long time now. It's been a couple of years. They had a couple of kids ones where, like, it was these weird weasel looking characters or something that had like a truck or something like that, and you could basically choose your own adventure. Yeah, and my kids loved it.
I know that Black Mirror is having like 1 or 2 episodes be choose your own adventure episodes now too.
Yeah.
And I know that's what they wanted the Stranger Things game to be. So.
Oh, okay. I think they had a Shrek one as well. That was a choose your own adventure or something like that. Or was it Puss in Boots? I think it was Puss in Boots. I think it was a Puss in Boots one. Actually,
you should have heard that, Jesse. He said he choose to throw Shrek in the garbage.
I hate Shrek so much. I can't stand Shrek.
We had that discussion already.
I know we did, but I just want to reiterate that I still hate Shrek. I still hate Shrek, everybody. And Donkey.
We literally gonna do our episode of all the things that we hate and we just can't stand.
I know.
I cannot wait for that.
Speaking of things, though, I've been watching this total tangent, whatever. But like, my wife and I have been watching the Goldbergs from the start on Hulu.
Yeah,
show's really good. It's really funny.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of heart to it.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of it, but what I've seen of it, I did enjoy.
If you're a fan of things from the 80s, it's really good.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole Zelda episode. There's a whole episode where he's like he spent 6 months trying to beat Zelda, and like he's about to beat Zelda, and he pauses it to go get his video camera, and his like he had already beaten Ganon, and he wants to film like him walking into the final chamber to wake up Zelda or whatever. And his brother walks in and just walks through the door. He's like, "Took you 6 months to beat Zelda. It took me 6 seconds." And it was like this really funny scene. He didn't get to see that. He didn't get to see the end of Zelda because he had to go get his video camera. So it was so good.
Oh wow. Well, everybody, we're going to have a quick Arsenal X discussion. And this one is probably going to be very interesting. So we got some great games coming in 2019.
Oh, jeez.
And
2019, we're getting more games. Stop.
Pause. I literally wonder, does Microsoft take Game of the Year? If Crackdown, Gears 5, and Halo Infinite, if they are released next year, does Microsoft take Game of the Year of those games that are successful?
You think they're going to release Halo and Gears in the same year?
Where would you like to place them at? I think so.
Well, we know Gears is coming out for sure next year.
Yeah.
I think Halo is going to be cross generation. I think it's going to come out in 2020 for Xbox One and whatever the next thing is.
You think a delay would happen?
No. Well, they didn't really give us a year.
Well, yeah. I'm assuming we'll see something at E3 in 2019.
Yeah.
Well, but let's say that they showed it in 2019 and have a release date.
Yeah.
For it, and it actually comes out.
I think Halo's gonna. I think they're gonna make Halo into their Destiny. I have this feeling.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Jesse.
I was gonna say, well, like the more I think about it, like with people complaining about them not having enough exclusives and all that stuff, I could see them releasing Halo like at the end of the year, and like Gears maybe in the middle of the year or something.
Well,
or even earlier.
I could see them releasing Gears in like August, and then Halo in November or something.
Yeah.
And then Forza Motorsport 9000 somewhere in there.
Like maybe around October or something, like a year.
Yeah.
Whatever. But
well, where would you guys like to place? Okay, because we already know Crackdown is coming in February.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you like Gears to be at, and where would you like Halo to be at if it had to come out in 2019?
I think October and November for Halo for sure.
Yeah,
and then a Forza like at the end of September, early October, like it always does.
Probably like after E3.
No, Forza Motorsport 8 will probably be out next year because those come out every other year.
Oh, I didn't add Forza. I was just talking those three.
Oh, sorry, I was just throwing it out. And then Gears.
Oh, that's fine.
Gears, I would probably, because Destiny's going to get an expansion next year in September. I would want to avoid that as much as possible, especially since Forsaken seems to have taken off.
Yes.
I would want to avoid Halo because you don't want to cannibalize your first party. And then
maybe even July.
Yeah.
But do you think? Okay, so Nintendo. Let's go with Nintendo has have Pokemon, Animal Crossing, and let's just say Metroid Prime 4. Not even the trilogy.
Well.
And Bayonetta.
And Fire Emblem, and Yoshi.
And Fire Emblem, and Yoshi.
And Daemon X Machina.
Dang, that's 8, 7, 8.
And Luigi.
And
Luigi's Mansion.
Oh, goodness. I'm not prepared for Luigi's Mansion 3.
I'm not prepared for Nintendo's 2019 at all, dude.
Right. And Sony has The Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima.
And Days Gone. And Death Stranding.
Well,
Dreams. Yeah. Tell you what, man. The more I hear about Dreams, the more I want to fool around with it.
I was watching Game of Informers podcast Thursday. I gotta finish watching it. But they said it's just like it's so weird, but it's interesting.
Yeah, like I wanna mess around with it. Like I really want to do something cool in there, but I don't know where to start. But anyways, we'll save that for Platinum.
Right. But do you think Microsoft has just with those 3 games, Gears, Crackdown 3, Halo Infinite, can they really like make Game of the Year nominations for 2019 really hard? Because kind of this year, I say Forza is the really kind of standout. You know, Sea of Thieves has its highs and lows. Hint, pun intended.
State of Decay.
State of Decay 2 had its highs and lows. It has problems and stuff, you know, but it just didn't really like click. And with Crackdown 3 not being in this year, kind of hurt Microsoft just a little bit. Not too major, but just a little bit. But there was success for Microsoft. In a way, Nintendo is still steamrolling, so they kind of got some Game of the Year kind of material that whether it be first party or indie. A lot of people believe Sony is going to take it this year because of God of War and Spider-Man. But next year, you know, you kind of got all 3 major platforms, indies, and even some second party stuff probably. And third party all going for Game of the Year. Like it's like, I mean, like ways.
Don't sleep on Anthem either. You know, because that's still like that's still a wild card. You know, because I mean it could. I think Anthem's either going to be fantastic or it's going to bomb. It's not. There's not going to be an in between. There can't be an in between for that game, right? Mm-hmm. It has to be fantastic or it's going to bomb, right? It just got to. So, like, you have to account for that, too.
And honestly, I feel like with Anthem, as long as everything, the mechanics and everything works of, like, what we've seen, I think it's going to lean towards being awesome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, it just looks like an amazing game. Mm-hmm. And, like, as long as everything works properly, you know, like, they don't have the issues like what they had with what's it called?
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect, yeah. As long as they don't have any like really noticeable, you know, issues like they had with that in the beginning, I think it should do pretty good. And I'd imagine that they're trying to, you know, go over things as much as they possibly can to hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But you know, it's
because Jesse, you was talking about Xbox Inside earlier this week. I don't know if you got a chance to watch that stuff. Does that help? Does Microsoft make Xbox Inside bigger for 2019 to really show off like stuff from Ninja Theory and all the other companies that they like collected? Announced at E3, like, do they show stuff off right there to be like, yeah, they're really going for Game of the Year with some of their games and stuff?
Well, I think one of the things, you know, unfortunately, like the situation that they're in right now, where they've kind of are in building mode still, like as far as new IP. Is once they have new IP to show off, I think then that will become a much more bigger show to watch.
Yeah.
But right now there's like, you know, they have stuff that they can talk about on there and that they can show us, but they really don't have enough content yet to really make that show as important as it could be. So I think that eventually that will become like the Nintendo's Directs, where they'll be pushing stuff, you know, once they have more stuff to push. I mean, they do a good job of doing stuff now, and like with them bringing back XO, you know, that's a big deal, and I have a feeling that's going to be a pretty interesting thing for us to see this year, you know.
When is it?
It's I believe in November isn't 10th. It? Yeah, 100%. November 10th. Yeah.
Okay.
So that, like as far as the show goes, that's gonna be interesting to see what kind of stuff we have to talk about and stuff like that. So, but I think the show is really good, and I'm glad that they have it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think just right now there's only so much that they can really talk about, and they're trying to talk about as much stuff as they possibly can on there. And I think they will probably continuously talk about the games coming out and trying to get stuff across and do what they're doing already. So,
Because what did you guys think that? And this is kind of like the final question. Then we're going to end the show. Did you guys think this is the last year? 2019 will be the last year that Microsoft is pushing stuff for one, before they get ready to announce their new system and games that they're ready, that they got still cooking for that system 2019. Like it's Gears 5, Halo Infinite, Crackdown, like you mentioned, Corey, Forza 8. Like is this the last of those games? And then the next generation introducing new IPs and maybe some returning IPs. And even with Game Pass and stuff like that, do you feel like Microsoft be like, okay, we got stuff really good for you guys for launch for our new system and everything?
I think whatever Compulsion and Ninja Theory are working on next, I think those smaller projects, even a State of Decay 3 would be a great kind of like launch for the next box. I think Halo and Gears are kind of like the last hurrah for Xbox One. Even though, like, I know those games will be... I mean, Xbox is going to push backwards compatibility hard, and those games will be playable on the Xbox. Especially if, like, the rumors of Halo Infinite kind of being a Destiny Light sort of thing, where it's kind of open world, jumping from planet to planet, doing non-linear storytelling, grouping up with friends, that kind of stuff, I think Halo Infinite's going to last for a long time. I mean, look how simple Halo 5's multiplayer is, and look how long it's lasted. So,
yeah.
And then Gears, I think is.
Mind you, everybody, Halo 5's multiplayer is really good. It's so good.
So good. It's still really good.
Yeah.
But I think Gears is always. It's in the same position that Forza is always in, right? Where it's like. It's already so good that it's really hard to iterate on the next game because it's already so good. So, like, whenever it comes out, it's always kind of quiet, Yeah. Because, like, I really think Gears of War 4 was a great kind of rebirth of that series. I think that campaign is phenomenal. I think the multiplayer is awesome. Dodgeball is the coolest multiplayer mode I've seen in years. So,
yeah.
I think Gears has the most to kind of... It needs the most to surprise people. And I think they're kind of doing that where they kind of showed off open areas and different gameplay styles of things where I actually kind of think it's going to play... It's going to be I think it's going to be like a mix of Gears and Tomb Raider. I think they're going to want you to do some exploration. I
kind of hope that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think that direction will fit the Gears.
Especially if they're starting to focus way more on storytelling and lore and and the open kind of linear spaces, like I think they compared it to Tomb Raider directly with like hubs. So I'm the most interested in seeing what Gears does. But I think, your original question of do these games have a chance to be Game of the Year? I'm not sure Crackdown does, but I think Halo does. I think Halo Infinite with their change of pace and stuff, and I think Gears could surprise a lot of people, and I think it's going to get talked about. I don't know if it'll win, but I think Gears could get talked about in some circles just because they're focusing on what's her name, Kate, in this game, and like, you know, trying to do some interesting things with the story, and so.
Well, what about you, Jesse?
I mean, like, if, like, just for the sake of it, like, if, let's say Crackdown came out and it was, like really, really, really good, like, I guess I could see that possibly, like, you know, like, if they just do, like, everything, like, above and beyond, and it ends up being, like, you know, like, super fun, and like everything, you know, just works really well, and it gets a really good rating, I mean, I guess I could see it. But the other problem too is, like, you know, like, when you're going up against a system that just has a bigger fan base, it's gonna be, you know, hard, like, voting wise or whatever. I mean, I guess I don't know how they do that, like, how they, like, game of the year is decided, if that has anything to do with people, or if that's just based on, like, reviewer, like, people who.
It's mostly like personal taste and people who votes and stuff, like agreements and stuff.
Well, a lot of it is just outlet based, right? Like, when IGN gives their game of the year, it's just like, you know, they vote on their game of the year or whatever, and GameSpot and stuff. But, like, I guess what you would be talking about would be like the Game Awards or BAFTA, or, you know, those those types of things, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, like, if it really, like, it comes out and it does something really well, and, like, to the point of where people just can't deny that it's a good game. Like, yeah, I guess I could see it, you know, because I could see it being in like Xbox's Spider-Man, basically, you know. But I honestly think that it could probably, you know, like, if they do it right, it could be better than that even. So.
Okay. Well, this is just bonus last question. This came to mind. For the new system, does Fable need to be their Breath of the Wild to get that system to sell?
No, no, not to get the system to sell, but Fable needs to be. We've talked about it before. Fable could be Breath of the Wild plus, right? They have the lore, they have the open world. The thing that they have that Zelda doesn't have is they can play around with stuff like humor and different styles of weapons, and, like, I think the Zelda formula, what Breath of the Wild did with Zelda, could work really well with Fable. I think Fable could top that, I mean, in terms of what Microsoft wants to do, because they can play around with humor, they can play around with the morality system, like, you know, that those are like two keystones of Fable that you could add to a Breath of the Wild style open world and just run with it.
Yeah, because when you think of it, it's like Fable could be like if Nintendo was to literally take like everything of Zelda and then kind of like base it around a world more similar to like the Animal Crossing, like, where it's like personality and, like, you know, like having lots of characters and things that you interact with, but also the whole fighting aspect and you know, part of Zelda. Like, it's like if they were to mix those two games together, like, that's what Fable, I think, could be.
And I think the way, like, Fable has dungeons in them, and they were interesting at the time, but I think you could, if you added a little bit of a puzzle dynamic to, like, you don't even need 120 dungeons or shrines or whatever. You could have like 40 kind of intricate dungeons for Fable, and at the end you could have some sort of morality thing to change it up. I think that would be really cool, and have the world change with your morality system. Like, they could do some really interesting things, you know. And
yeah. I was just thinking of something that would be really cool. I was thinking of is, like, what if, like, they have less dungeons, but the dungeons affect the world. Like, when you finish the dungeon, depending on what you did in the dungeon, when you leave, the world is changed in some way.
Yeah.
Like, that would be kind of cool.
getting that artifact or that collection or like the reward affects the world coming out.
Yeah, or if because you can, I think you can have companions at certain points in that game, right? Like, what if you're at a boss or whatever, and instead of killing it, you can add it to be a companion in that game, and that affects the world. Because, like, what if you're trying to be a good guy and you kill the boss? Like, that's the good thing. But if you want to be bad, you can, like, make a deal with the boss, and then it just becomes your companion and makes the world darker or something.
I love that. Yeah. I love both of those ideas. That would work.
By the way, we'll save it for Pablo.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I think Breath of the Wild is a great base for this new direction Zelda's going, and what Jesse said about characters and stuff. Like, I can't wait till like the next Zelda game they have this base for it now, and like when they just start adding characters in there and like start adding the Zelda humor and start adding a little bit more flavor to the characters and stuff. Like, I can't wait for the next Zelda game, and it's not even
more town building. More town building, please.
Yeah.
We're not ready for that yet. We're not ready for it. That's another Hills Diver for a Switch idea discussion. We'll have another day.
Yeah,
Metroid Diver.
Yeah, what if they make it where you literally have to rebuild the castle and everything, like the whole story building.
Oh goodness, I'm not ready for that neither. So, but everybody, that has been an episode of Arsenal X. We want to hear what you guys think. Can Crackdown 3? Let's even add Forza 8. Halo Infinite, Gears 5, or any game that's Microsoft is doing for their first party. Can it be contender for Game of the Year for 2019 if it's successful? We want to hear what you guys think. You can email the show at arsenalxpodcast@gmail.com. You can also join us on Facebook at Arsenal X NGR's Radio Xbox Podcast Group. You can find us on Twitter at Arsenal X Podcast and on Instagram at Arsenal X Podcast. You can find us on our YouTube channel, Arsenal X Xbox channel. Corey, where can we find you?
You can find me at CoreyNHD86 on Twitter and Instagram. You can, if you want to watch me stream some stuff, probably mostly Destiny and Madden next week, you can follow me at CoreyNHD on Twitch. And you can find me on Nintendo Power Block and various other things on NGRradio.com.
Jesse, where can we find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at PhantomMaggot_AX.
You guys can find me on Twitter at ThatButcherCoach. You can check out my podcast, Optional Opinion, on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn, and other podcast apps. Also, you guys can check out, like Corey said, Nintendo Power Block. Check out Arsenal Plays, Squad Goals, Royale with Cheese, and other games that we love to show you guys on Arsenal X on our Xbox channel. We do have a movie commentary coming up later on this month. We cannot wait to see this movie together and figure out what the world is going on. This is a recommendation from Jesse, so it's a mockumentary. We're going to save it and hopefully it'll be our Halloween episode, so get your cookies, your snacks, your costume, whatever, and join us for that discussion. So once again, thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Corey. Everybody, we're going to throw up the X one more time. Yes, because we're exiting out of here. Everybody, we'll see you next time on Arsenal X Podcast. Bye. What are you doing? You with your head?